Tent camping. It's always fun to do in nice summer, blue skies, white fluffy clouds, green leaves on the trees. Maybe there's a slight breeze. You can smell the smoke of the campfire. Getting ready to cook some hot dogs or some hamburgers maybe. Maybe even just sit around and just watch the fire. Listen to it crack. Peaceful times. The smell of the citronella from the tiki torches is reassuring, as you know that you won't be eaten alive by all the mosquitoes. And kind of just relax. The following morning, you can load up your little wagon on your four-wheeler and haul out everything that you want to haul out. You can even leave the tent set up. You might be back. You probably will be back. That's the easy way of tent camping. Now, there is another way. Now, this is a truck tent. It's pretty much a dome tent that's designed to fit in the back of a truck. On the back, in the back, well, whatever. It's made by whatever that name is there. I'm not even going to try it. I have no idea. I got it from Walmart.com, and, well, it kind of shows. It's not the highest quality dome tent ever. It also comes with a big rain fly, which doesn't seem to fit. I may have put it on backwards. I've been known to do stuff like that. Now, if you see the straps hanging off the side, off my rusty well right here, they got these hooks that are supposed to hook down on underneath the fender. But if you pull just a little bit too hard, well, they kind of break off. I don't know if they're just glued on there or if it's actual stitching that's not that great. It does look like there is some stitching there, and thankfully there wasn't a hole put all the way through the thing. Now, like any other dome tent, they have screened windows. Of course, the rain fly, like I said, doesn't fit. And here's another strap that broke. I turned it around the other way so the hook could go through the hole that this did rip out. And then I just tied it to the tailgate. If you see the color coding there, the yellow, that means the front, and then the back is red. And this tent has openable zippers on both sides. Now the front side, the yellow side, is how you get into it, and it has a big bug screen on it, just pretty much like any other dome tent. And well, it just has like a bathtub at the bottom of it that lines the inside of the bed of the truck. Now, nighttime, well, there's the windows from the inside, and they kind of just zip open. The only thing I don't really like about it is the screens don't open on the sides. And yes, I did bring a little space heater, as it was going to get cold. Now, I didn't leave the space heater run all night. It kind of just was there for if I had to get out from under the sleeping bags. So, it did its job, and I'll tell you, when I got up in the morning, it was nice. That's the little Chromebook. I'm close enough to the house that I can still get Wi-Fi. And there I'm showing you the other sleeping bag. I have two of them. That's a -35, the black one, and that's what I'm using as the pad. And the green one, that's a 0 degree, and they're both in Fahrenheit. And they're both pretty warm. Of course, when I went to bed, I shut the heater off. And when I woke up in the morning, it was pretty cold. 18 degrees. And that's Fahrenheit also. Now, it sure was a little chilly. There was actually ice from the condensation of my breath. It formed ice cubes. What I'm showing you here, you can't really see it, but the frost went all the way down in that bush. It doesn't usually do that unless it gets really super cold. And it was a nice sight to see the fire still burning on the inside. The house was nice, and so was the coffee. Now later on, when it kind of warmed up, I think about 40 degrees, there was still a lot of condensation in there, and it was kind of hard to crawl around in there on the bed. There's that pole that I couldn't find out where it went. Of course, later on, after the fact, I did. There's the water, droplets everywhere, and if you tapped the side, it looked like it was raining inside there. So, that's the light I used. That's a little solar rechargeable lantern / spotlight. And there's those weird little window flap things. I suppose they're more for ventilation. They don't really ventilate a whole lot. I ended up breaking down and getting a fan and bringing it out. I didn't want to put the tent away if it was all wet. I've done that a few times in the past with other tents, and it always leads to mold or mildew or stink or whatever. But probably after an hour, everything was evaporated and dry. And I did discover that I wasn't alone out there. There's little kitty tracks, and I think it just slipped up on the windshield. Now, taking a tent apart is exactly the same as any other tent. You just reverse the process of putting it up. I didn't film putting it up because it was a huge pain in the butt, and I just didn't care that much. Just pull the poles and let the awning down. And I wondered if the awning could be used as another sort of door thing. There are little pegs, so it's made you can roll it up and you don't have to use it, which I guess is kind of cool. After I took the rain fly off, there's another look at the little wedge window things. And right there's where that other pole went. I don't know how I missed that when I put it up. The directions are less than informative. They're just kind of pictures, and you sort of just guess to put stuff together. The color coding did help, but I think they could have been wrote a little bit better. So now it's time to take everything apart. Let me just show you here how that strap just broke just like that. Just a little tug on it and it broke. And collapsing it all into the bed was a huge nightmare. Now this is exactly how they say to put it together too. You're supposed to make it look like that, and then you fold it up from the outside. I'm pretty sure that I could make it, put it together in the yard, and then manhandle it up into the bed. I think that'd have been a lot easier. Believe it or not, it does go back into the little case that it came in, and I did have a piece of plywood underneath there because rolling around on that bed liner probably would have been a little painful. Now this driveway camping trip could have been a lot funner if I'd have had a little campfire. Maybe cook some hot dogs there like we usually do, or even hamburgers. Also would have been a lot funner if I could have brought Halo with me, but she wasn't going to fit in there, she wasn't going to sit still, and I didn't want to leave her outside, she'd have got cold. So, regardless of what kind of tent you use, it's all about the same thing. Now this is our giant tent that I think you could put 20 people in the doggone thing. But in the end, it works just as good as this. Alright everybody, thank you for watching. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. Stay safe and have a good one.